What if everything that you have ever looked for in the outside world already lives within you? What if the truth that you have been looking for in the man of your dreams, in the house of your dreams, in a job of your dreams, the body of your dreams, the health of your dreams, what if all this was already within you? And what if knowing that it was already within you would set you truly free? Hello, every beautiful soul here. This is Doris Victoria on your personal empowerment channel. First of all, thank you for all my new subscribers. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing to my channel. It is my pleasure and my heart's desire to bring consciousness and illumination into this world. And this is why I'm here and sharing my messages with you. And as promised, today I want to talk about this powerful phrase, know thyself and you will know the truth. And I promise I will make a short about it as well for those of you who don't have that much time. So make sure you subscribe so that you wouldn't miss this short when it's coming out. So know thyself means to know that you are God, that you are God incarnate here on earth, that your essence, the true essence of who you are, which is light, it is compassion, it is love, it is joy, it is the highest frequency of peace and bliss. That essence of you never dies. And that is the essence, that conscious essence of you that chooses to incarnate and to go back home and to incarnate and to go back home. And by the way, for those of you like me, I remember, for those of you asking now, why do we have to go home? Why do we have to do this cycle of reincarnation all the time? Well, in the past, when the vibration of us humans hasn't been that upgraded yet, like it is now by these new energies coming in, dying meant, or going back home, because there is no death, it is just like we're going out of our costume that we were wearing here on earth and we are going back to source. We're going back to where we truly come from and where we are existent ever after as consciousness. In the past, when, as I said, the vibration, the DNA hasn't been in to such a high functionality yet, dying or, transcending back into our true self meant to integrate the wisdom that we have learned in this current lifetime, which is no longer necessary now. That is my first message for you today. We no longer have to die in order to integrate wisdom from the experiences that we have been through in this current lifetime. So that is one of the important messages that is coming true. For many of you who don't know my videos, for all my new subscribers, yes, I do channel a lot. And every theme that I'm sharing with you is infused by messages that need to be heard in this moment. And I am here, and it is my honor actually to bring wisdom back to humankind, to help you find the truth. So knowing thyself means to know who you truly are. As I said, this essence of God. It means that as this divinity that you are inherently worthy. You're inherently valuable. Your feelings matters. Your breath matters. Your being matters here on earth. The level of processing, your level of sensitivity, the way you process experiences matters. Your thoughts matter in a way that even though you think you might have weird thoughts, or you might call yourself a weirdo sometimes, like I definitely have, or many of us kind of like Albert Einsteinish beings have, because we have a highly developed side, and every highly developed side needs a childlike side, a playful side, and it can be a foolish side sometimes, but that's totally normal. Remember a pendulum. A pendulum is always swinging, If we are here all the time, we cannot be here all the time. We have to be here at times to actually swing back to the other side. So to know thyself back means you are worthy. You are unique. No one could ever replace your existence here on earth. It is not like they're preaching people in military that you're just a number and that every soldier is replaceable. No. You are a part of God that has never been seen in the same beauty like you are shining it into this world. So, knowing thyself means to know that you are more than just your physical body. You're not your ego. You're not your thoughts. You're not your feelings. You are this eternal presence behind your thoughts, behind your feelings, always looking for the truth and finding the truth, because every truth seeker is a truth finder. Knowing thyself also means that you know that your purpose here is different than leading the normal path that society has already engraved for humanity. In a way, you grow up, you go to school, you graduate, you marry, you have children, you have a house, you have a car, you get a promotion, blah, blah, blah. That's not the life that we are here to live. And it was interesting because this morning I woke up and I remembered that I was thinking of my most beautiful fairy tales. And as I shared in one of my former shorts, Einstein's answer about what he answered when he was asked, how can we be as smart as you are, Mr. Einstein? Well, he said, read fairy tales. And when the kid asked, and how can we be even smarter than you? How can we outsmart you? Einstein's answer was, read more fairy tales. But then this morning I woke up and I realized, but wait a moment, even fairy tales show this engraved path of society for humans. A man and a woman get married, they're in love, they get married, but then they have children. And interestingly, the fairy tale always ends before they have children. And it never talks about the challenges that comes with having a family, for example. So as I shared with you, many of us beings here on earth that know we are here for a different reason than follow the path of the traditional human life, of having a family, having children. I, for example, know that I have been on this planet Earth so many lifetimes that the years in my passport don't do any justice for the many, many years that I had really been walking this planet already. And that I have been a mother many, many, many times before. I've been a mother and a father many, many times before. And that is not necessarily an experience that I am looking for in this lifetime anymore. And it was interesting because my own mother always said, I have two sisters, both of them have two children. And my mother always said, oh, you will regret not having children. Excuse me, one day. And I said, no, Mom, I won't. This is a conscious choice of mine. I choose to walk a different path. Well, now, I am years have passed and I still don't regret it. And I know I won't, because freedom and independence have been one of my biggest values. And the interesting thing is that many of us here on earth that come with the remembrance that there is something more to us, that our life has a different meaning than just the current meaning of being a mother and a wife and a sister and a daughter and that our life has a different meaning, that we are here for something different, that we are here to speak our truth and to leave traces behind us that will help humanity plant seeds for peace on earth, for a different way of living, for a different way of thinking, not following the traditional systems anymore. So knowing thyself, as I said, you know who you truly are. You know that the truth is within you. You know that you are not a victim. You are the creator yourself. You have the same power that God has. And limitations only exist in your mind, but not in your heart. Your heart is already inherently your soul. If you connect with your soul, this inherent value will then come and shine further. And remember, knowing thyself also means that you are light, and that it doesn't matter who you look like or how you look like, or if you have your dream body or your dream whatever it is, it means that you know that you are an inherent part of God, and as this God's light, you are shining, as this divinity, you are shining here on earth. And this is what makes you truly beautiful. No makeup, no clothing, no haircut, no plastic surgery could ever do what an awakened light inside of someone would ever do with the way you come across. And it's not about pleasing others. It's about shining your light to the fullest and to live your life to the fullest, not believing in the conditioned limitations, but believing that you are limitless power and that you can, just because you exist. And just because you exist, you are valuable. So when you know thyself, when you know all this about yourself, then you will know the truth. The truth is that someone once said, and I thought it was a really nice analogy, that this world and all the systems created, religions, cultures, oppositions, politics, economy, everything is created in order to divide and separate people. I agree. You know, when I see how one political party is trying to, raise hatred towards another minority of people, for example, all this is showing me how much the dark forces are still trying to divide humanity. So if you know who you are, you don't get into that drama anymore. You will not take sides. You will know the truth. You will pray for peace, and you will focus on an outcome that is the best for everyone involved. And you know that your thoughts matter. Just like, meditations against criminality have been shown that the criminality rate at certain places really went down because many, many minds focused on that. So knowing the truth means that you look at this world like a puppet theater, but you know it's not the truth. You know that all these systems that are playing with each other, or what I see right now is a trend in building. I mean, construction is just going crazy. Everywhere in Europe where you go, I mean, right here where I'm in a little mountain village. For those of you following me, knowing that I'm here in the Swiss Alps right now, I'm in a little mountain village that used to have, I don't know, maybe 1,000 people. Well, by now it has at least 50,000. And I just counted the cranes around me this morning, all these huge construction sites. There's at least 9 big construction sites around me here. This used to be my place of peace and quiet. I have no peace and quiet here anymore. Fortunately, I can use my legs and I can just walk, and I can be in a quiet place pretty fast. But this place turns into a city. So the noise level is, I believe, also created by those forces that are still trying to keep humanity in this low consciousness, like chickens in a fence watched and observed by foxes. And they know that noise is actually very disturbing. It is, if you look at our energy field, if you do an analyzation of the energy field, and then you look how machine noise is influencing our energy, it is literally creating cracks in our energy. It is destroying energy. So yes, it is more and more important that we meditate, that we use the peace and quiet at night to come back home and to find the stillness within our own selves and in the outside world, of course, if you can. But real stillness exists within ourselves. And because the construction is taking on such a high level now, and I believe that this is meant, they're arguing it is because people need places, people need apartments. There's a lot of argumentation going on, but when you know yourself, you will know the truth. So you will not believe what they say anymore. You will look behind the veil and know what is really going on. So I believe that we are invited to find the true stillness within ourselves. So as I said, you will know the truth. You will know that you are in this world, but you are no longer of this world, meaning you're not allowing the outside world to get you into a lower vibrational energy anymore by taking you into drama about this subject or this subject or this subject. You know, and just for those of you knowing me, you know that it has been 34 years that I don't watch television or I don't listen to the radio anymore. I hear classic music. I hear music that, because I know that music can be medicine, but always without any voice of a human being. I like the music itself, but you know, I don't listen to the radio where there's people sharing the news in between, or, you know, manipulating you with the newest advertisements. I don't allow myself to be thrown at information at me that I don't want to listen to, like publicity, for example, advertisements, news, because the news are always negative. Isn't it interesting? You know, for all negative news, there's at least 10 positive news. Isn't it interesting that they're only sharing the negative news? Well, anyway, these are thoughts that I already had like 35 years ago, and I was like, nope, not with me. I'm choosing my happiness. I'm choosing my high vibration. I know that my energy is the highest vibrational currency that I have and that I have power over. And so I'm not going to allow anything that is lowering my energy anymore. And I hope neither do you. So you will watch this world as like a puppet theater, but you will just be compassionately observing. You will not get into the drama anymore. You will not be saddened. You know, you can have compassion, as I said, but rather than lowering your vibration, because you know that this is not helping anyone, you know, you will keep your vibration in a high level, and then from that high space, imagine the way you would want it to see. Because remember, what you feed your attention to grows. Where your energy goes, where your attention goes, energy flows. So what you give your attention, your conscious attention to, will grow. So when you see oppositions, you know, or drama going on of any sort, yes, there is war over there. Yes, there is war over there. Yes, people are still killing each other over there. Yes, it is true. But instead of talking about this and, oh my God, this is so horrible, focus on how you want to see it. You know, one of my masters always said, what you can do is when you see something that disturbs your energy, that you feel is not giving you a good feeling, or you feel it is unjust, because for me, for myself speaking, I know I have a very high sense of justice. So when I see something that is unfair to me, I immediately focus on the opposite. I focus on how it could be, and then I put it into a prayer like, thank you that it already is this in this way. And then I imagine, I shine my light, my conscious light upon the situation the way I want to see it. And it's always the best for everyone involved. And this is how I leave it. And then I give my attention to something else. You know, one of the sayings is also, thank you, Source, for helping me to know what I can change and what I cannot change. And thank you for giving me the wisdom to separate one thing from another, to know one thing from another. So put your attention on what you can change. And you know, the truth is we can never change the outside world, but we can change ourselves and how we respond to the outside world. So as long as you respond with drama or fear or like a divided energy, then the forces got you. Because as soon as you're no longer standing in your light, in your highest light of knowing thyself, that's when the dark forces got you, and they can sell something to you, or they can manipulate you into thinking something that they want you to think that is not necessarily the truth. So knowing thyself really knows that you are not part of this puppet theater here on earth, that you are an inherently valuable human being like everyone else is, whether they know it or not. But we cannot change their knowing. We can only change our own knowing. So knowing that you are here to bring in a different consciousness of peace, of unity, of oneness between humankind. Remember the saying, no tree would be as foolish as to fight against its own branches. The more you shine this light, the more you will know the truth, and the truth will then set you free. Why? Because you know that you're the creator. You know that as you are here breathing, manifested in this physical body, you can make a difference. You can plant seeds of compassion. So just imagine you have an argument with someone, and that someone is very angry, and you're just looking at this someone with loving eyes. You're not trying to defend yourself, and you're saying to this person, I know you're angry, and you know what? I don't want to be angry. I love both of us too much. I don't want to be angry. And then see what is happening to the other person. The other person will change. I promise you. Because you do not get into that kind of like version of yourself where you are reinforcing the argument. No, you're diffusing the argument by not choosing to go the known path, by choosing to step into a new path of oneness and surrendering, and with love and compassion telling the other person, I don't want to be angry. I love us both too much. I love you too much. I love me too much. And then you take their hands or you give them a hug, and you will see that this other person completely loses their argument. I mean, this is very interesting to watch, you know. So I hope this was helping me. I invite you, since this is a personal empowerment channel, a soul empowerment channel, let us empower each other's souls. I shared my wisdom with you today. Why don't you share in the comments below how you understand it? What are you taking away from today, and how do you understand know thyself and you will know the truth? Please share your personal definition of this, as it might be exactly what another person needs to hear today. Thank you so much again for liking, for subscribing, for sharing this video abundantly. Thank you for being here, and thank you for allowing me to share my wisdom with you and to feel empowered, so that together we can create a world where peace reigns again and humanity is coming together as sisters and brothers. How magnificent would that be? So all my love to you today and always, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.